and welcome back to the Brian Clay Chronicles. We have had a wonderful first episode. We've had City Councilman Harold Collins, one of your old friends, and Dr. Rodney Mills from New Olivet Baptist Church. And we have the pleasure of having the proprietor of one of the more famed liquor stores in our community, Buster's Liquor Stores, Mr. Josh Hammond. How you doing, brother?
Great, thank you.
You looking well?
Thank you.
I must say that many at Lemoyne College, my alma mater, and Rhodes, I can speak for Burnell, and it was Memphis State then, back in our day. We owe a lot of salutations to Buster's. You know, Buster's has been very good to me. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
But it's been always a good store and very kind people and things like that.
I think you hit the nail on the head, right? We've got some great folks that work for us, and it's all about treating everybody with respect and walks to that door. So.
Josh, let's jump into it. We don't have to eat a lot of time. You have taken a very interesting position, you and others, on the voting referendum regarding wine sales in grocery stores. Now, the average person feels like, hey, why not? Okay. And I read a very interesting article, and I want to say hello to my friend Andy Meek out there at the Memphis News, that Andy Meek wrote about you, and particularly the issue regarding wine in grocery stores. And it brought up some very interesting things that I didn't even think about. So we can start there. Why is it that you're so a stalwart against wine being sold in grocery stores?
Well, I mean, the first and foremost, as a business owner, you know, we're concerned for the loss of wine sales and the effect that'll have on our business. And you know, if we lose out revenue from wine sales, that's going to cost potential jobs.
Right.
And you know, the way the bill reads now, it could potentially be 4 to 5 times the amount of outlets selling wine. You know, and we get a little discouraged by it because, you know, after 60 years, 3 generations of our family, we've built up a really great business. We're proud of it. And technically in one fell swoop of the pen, we're all starting to make a change and to an extent and make a significant impact against it. But, you know, essentially making Kroger the largest wine retailer, not only in Memphis, but in the state of Tennessee overnight. You know, so when you think about those kind of things, you can see the frustration, how that lays in.
Now, the argument that maybe most lay people would say is that, hey, they sell wine in Birmingham, they sell it in Charlotte in grocery stores or what have you, and it doesn't affect them. Is that true or not true?
Well, it is and it isn't.
Okay.
You know, since Prohibition, there's been a patchwork of different setups in each state. And so there's currently 16 states right now that don't sell wine in grocery stores. The last state to make a change like this of those was Iowa in 1986.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, the data there doesn't show what happens to existing retail stores. And you got to imagine that, you know, if the pie or the wine, so to speak, of sales, it doesn't really expand, someone's going to lose out.
Right.
And so when you've got Walmart, Kroger, Target, all sorts of different places now selling wine that didn't used to, it's going to have a significant impact on Tennessee small business.
One of the things that I found really fascinating in the Andy Meek article was that you brought up a very interesting and in many ways a very serious issue that I'd never considered. You said smaller grocery stores will be able to sell bum wine. Yeah. The Wild Irish Rose, the Cisco, the Boone's Farm,
and wines, cocktail wines. Those are wines that are made to appear and marketed as liquor type items, which are margaritas and what other cocktails you may have. But we're talking about items that go up to 18% alcohol, okay, which is 3 times the regular limit of beer right now sold in convenience stores. A lot of folks think that wine in grocery stores is about wine in grocery stores, but they actually define a grocery store as a food store that's 1,200 square feet and 20% food sales. That's the only requirement.
So you can have a corner store, and they can legitimately sell
18% alcohol, wine-based alcohol.
That's pretty serious. Isn't it?
It can be. It certainly poses a public safety issue and a youth access issue. You know, we know the issues that we deal with violent crime in Memphis, and so those things are certainly things to consider.
When you say youth access, and I know you would have a very interesting opinion on this particular issue, not, you know, beyond just being a liquor store owner. Obviously, the situation that happened at Kroger was crazy, and we are living in a generation where
right across the street.
You're right across the street, and that's why I ask you this question, because as you know, Buster's Liquors is in the heart of the University of Memphis district. Yes. When it comes to youth access in liquor, is one of your, and I think you briefly mentioned it, partly your motivation is the concern of youth having access to that particular.
I'm not only in the industry, and I know I'm a business owner, and I'm certainly watching out for that, but I'm also a Tennessean, and I'm a Memphian.
Right.
And, you know, I'm just as concerned as you are, as anybody else is, for the public safety that goes on in our community.
Right.
I was around a lot of those individuals literally the Saturday night before that incident took place.
Really? Did they try to come in Buster's or something?
No, we were just coming out of Osaka and eating at the restaurant, and they asked if several come up to us and approached our car. I didn't feel intimidated. I didn't feel threatened, quite frankly, but you know, they just asked if we could help them get into the CC's Pizza restaurant. I was a little confused.
Okay.
You know, it's a shame and unfortunate that that incident turned into what it was.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Right. So long term, what would you like Memphians to know about this particular issue?
Well, I think overall is that, you know, there's a lot of things that make wine more convenient seem attractive. But convenience will come at a price.
Right.
And it'll come at the cost of Tennessee jobs, Tennessee businesses.
Because that was another thing that you mentioned. You said a lot of people may lose jobs behind. And you have a pretty big staff.
Yeah. So, you know, we've estimated 4 to 8 employees will have to be let go during that time. And then it ultimately will send profits out of state. And I think everybody knows the value of shopping local and what that means when a dollar is spent with a local business as opposed with an out-of-state corporation.
We've got about 30 seconds. Could you tell Memphis what we need to do on this particular issue?
Well, you know, me personally, I'd hope everybody would vote no to that and support local, small Tennessee-owned businesses, and to be more aware about alcohol policy in your community.
You got to come back to the Brian Clay Chronicles, man.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Man, we're going to continue to support Buster. Right? This is Mr. Josh Hammond, who is with Buster's Liquors over in the University of Memphis community. It's been there forever. We'll be right back after these messages, and that's it. Appreciate it.